Welcome back to the Gentleman's Gazette. Today I am in Hamburg, Germany, and at this beautiful store, Rudolf Beaufay. It's tucked away behind this construction zone here, but it is a wonderful store where I used to buy things when I studied law in Hamburg, just a few blocks away. It's called Rudolf Beaufay after the owner Rudolf Beaufay, but today it is owned and operated by Meisun. Hi Meisun, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Tell me more about the store and how you got to take over such a lovely thing.
It's a vintage store that I bought from Rudolf Beaufay in, what was it, 2015, and I was his co-partner for a very long time, and then he decided to retire. And I bought the store, finally.
Most people don't just buy a classic menswear vintage store on a whim. Tell me more about that.
I was always fascinated by vintage clothes and men's fashion. So everything that I wear, almost everything, is men's fashion. So I love oversized coats and jackets and shirts. And I think it works for women as good as it works for men. So I was always fascinated by the story behind old clothes.
So when did the store start?
It started 23 years ago.
Okay, and when did you take it over?
2015.
Okay, so you've been doing it for quite a while.
Quite a while, yeah.
So what have you changed? What have you added? What have you... I think overall, if I remember correctly, you kind of cleared it out a little bit. It looks all a little neater. The ties are actually visible.
Yeah.
Decluttered.
I made it a little easier for the people when they look for things. So the store is organized by size, which makes it easier for people to choose clothes. And it's a little more organized. I have more ties, more cufflinks, cuff buttons, and little accessories which we didn't have before. So it's the whole equipment that the gentleman needs.
So I think we should walk around a little bit and you just tell me what you got there, what you did.
Okay.
And, I think it's lovely. I mean, just look at this fox over here.
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
An old fox from the 1960s and a hunting coat from London. So the main source is still London, with all the beautiful clothes that I still find there.
So how often do you travel there?
Once a year, but I have a contact in London who knows the store quite well. He travels to Hamburg once in a while and he checks with me together what I need, special wishes from clients like morning coats, dinner jackets, very special pieces, and he gets a list from me to collect special stuff for the people that are looking for special, beautiful things.
So among your customers, is it more women, more men? Like, has it changed since you took it over?
It's more men, of course, because I sell men's wear, men's clothes, but sometimes it happens that women also come in and look for clothes that is a little oversized, and the age changed. So it's more young people who are looking for sustainable fashion. So secondhand is not anymore, doesn't have this dirty image that it had long ago. So it's very in fashion to wear secondhand.
Well, because nothing is as green as the coat that has already been made.
Exactly.
Right? Even like fur, it's there. Why not use it instead of making something new?
Exactly.
Vegan leather that ends up in a landfill because it's just plastic.
Exactly. It's better to wear old stuff, and I mean the quality is so good. You have tweed jackets that are from the 1960s, and the quality, you don't get this quality anymore. I have a covered coat that is from the 1940s. All the uniforms are from the 1930s, and if you are very lucky, they look like new.
All right, let's walk through your store here.
Okay.
I'll let you guide us.
Okay.
And just maybe show us some pieces, some maybe interesting things that have a story, or things that you think are just worth talking about.
Okay. So the uniforms are very special. So like I said before, this one is from, for example, from 1934.
Okay.
It's a mess jacket. And I love these uniforms because I love the bright red color. So I have hats, and I have shoes, and I have some tweed jackets that you see over here that are from the 1960s.
Nice. So I would guess the mess jackets don't sell as well as the tweed jackets. Is that right?
This is so right, yeah. So it's some people buy them, and mostly women, for special occasions. So you can make a combination of a modern trouser, modern pants with the mess jacket, and it looks very beautiful on women because the sizes are very small.
They are. I think they're almost better for like display purposes.
Exactly.
On a mannequin, at home. I think that's where it really shines.
Yeah, exactly.
And here you got some tweed.
I got some tweed. It's an old tweed jacket which is handmade. Most of the things are handmade. So everything is unique. So everything that you see in the store, I have it only once.
Yeah.
You will never find a jacket double.
Is that sometimes frustrating? Because people come in and you have something and you probably know it. I could sell this 100 times, but I just have it once.
No, it's not frustrating because it makes me very happy to see if somebody comes in and he was looking for many years for something special, a special jacket, and he finds it in my store and he goes out happy about finding this jacket. And so, no, this doesn't bother me at all.
Wonderful. So what, you said it was sorted by sizes. Mm-hmm. What we got here?
So it's a German. It's always guessing because sometimes you don't find the size in the clothes. So it's a German 52.
Okay,
So
which is American 42 regular.
Exactly. And it's most of the time it's tweed. I don't have keeper's tweed. Oh, I have a keeper's tweed
You have a keeper's
suit.
tweed?
I do, because it's very rare for the moment. And I have trouble finding it in London. So this is a keeper's tweed jacket.
Which is characterized by its resilient structure, right? It's almost like a cavalry twill in the structure, right? Like all that drill, but it's really kind of. How would you say is it different from a thorn-proof?
It is has a special color, so it's always a little greenish, little yellow, and it's very thick. So if you buy something like that, you will have it for the next 20, 30 years, and it's almost undestroyable. And I have also the Italian brands like Chiton, Cashmere, Dinner Jacket.
Oh wow, nice!
So it's 100% cashmere. It's a very good quality, and it's Chiton.
It's nice. Yeah, we did a video about Chiton.
Yeah.
Like I cut one apart, just to see how much handwork is there actually inside. So it was surprising.
Yeah.
But their fabrics are always lovely. They're nice and soft.
Yeah.
And I have a navy cashmere blazer with like mother of pearl buttons.
Yeah.
They're nice. They're nice.
There's also some, apart from the classical stuff, like tweed, waistcoats, tweed jackets and everything. So it's the main part of the store is classical menswear. But sometimes it happens that I have also something very special and unique. For example, this is a Jean-Paul Gaultier jacket from the beginning of the 90s, bought in Paris. So it was the very beginning of Jean-Paul Gaultier. It's an oversized...
It's like a bit like, art provenance, like bought in Paris. You kind of know the history of the garment. That's pretty cool. Tell me more about this beautiful decoration. I remember it was always nicely decorated, but I think it looks even better now.
Yeah, it's. Everything that is in the store is found by Rudolf on flea markets in Paris, and he was collecting everything. So his home in Hamburg was decorated in this way, so it was quite similar to the store. And I arranged it a little differently. I made spaces to sit because I thought it's more comfortable for the clients, the customers to take a seat, take their time, maybe read something. And everything that is, for example, the painting up there.
Wait a second.
Over there with the lion on the left side. It fell from the truck when Rudolf tried to transport it from Paris to Germany. So it's broken in the middle, and so you see it if you pay attention.
Yes, I can see it.
And I hang this chandelier in the middle.
Nice.
And I hope it will stay safe and not fall. And the Chesterfield sofas, so this is...
Chesterfields are becoming like more popular.
Yeah.
I always like the ones where you always have the tufting
Yeah.
on the seat area,
Yeah.
but oftentimes they're really hard.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I want a soft one. So these are hard to find,
Yeah.
but it's a nice color.
It's a nice color.
Nicely lived in.
A color that nobody wanted. So this is why I bought it, because I love this orange-red color. And yeah, you find everything. We have ties, Hermes ties, old Gucci ties.
So you're not exclusively English. You're also open to other things. I see a Louis Vuitton trunk over there, kind of rep stripes,
Exactly.
polo shirts.
Yeah. So it's mainly classical menswear, no matter where it's from. The main source is still London, but it's also the French fashion that I have in the store. If the quality is good, I buy stuff. So cashmere pullovers, pocket squares, Lanvin, so the French again. So this is the other room. So there are some luggages, like you said before, some pilot's jacket
Nice.
from the Second World War.
And Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah,
Right.
from a friend of mine who was living in the US, and he gave it to me, and I thought it could fit. I mean, the colors are beautiful and it fits beautiful in the store. And an old souvenir jacket for kids from Japan.
I also notice that this is a set, correct?
Yeah,
Nice.
it is. Yeah.
Beautiful. I think this one here was here when I was here last, which was before you owned the store. Could that be?
Yeah, it is. It's true.
It's kind of a woolen dressing gown.
Yeah.
With you can see the moth holes, right? I mean, it's very gives it that character. It's almost like a worn English rug.
Exactly.
Has that same concept.
Exactly.
Did you paint it all, or did you just leave it as is?
I left it like that. So because I love the British racing green, it's Farron ball. So they make, for me, the beautiful,
They
most
make beautiful colors.
beautiful colors, and I think the British racing green fits with the store perfectly.
Absolutely. Oh, I like this this coat here. It's almost like a bold, brushed herringbone in this kind of hacking pocket style, right?
Exactly. It's from London. I got it a few weeks ago, and it's a really heavy one. What I have also is a British warm. The last
Wonderful.
British warm that is in the store for the moment.
Is it? I mean, and now it's winter, right? So people are not that.
Yeah, they are
That,
not that keen on. No, it's not that true, because they buy. How do you say it? Anti-cyclisch.
Anti-cyclical.
Yeah, they do. So no matter last year how hot it was, they were buying winter coats.
You know, I had the same experience. I bought a super heavy winter coat in Dresden once, kind of a flea market for like €5.
Oh my God.
And it's wonderful. You know, it was like in great condition, but people are not buying it when it's like 30, 40 degrees Celsius, right, or like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's just not. People are like, no. God, I got some waistcoats here.
Yeah.
Are those selling well? Are these popular?
They
or not
do.
So popular?
They do. I'm surprised how popular everything is that is concerning classical menswear. Even if the customers who come into the store are 25, 35, so it's quite young age, I would say. It's a little changed a little, because sustainability is a very important part. So yeah, they sell quite well, I would say. Yeah.
Some of these hats, they look like they're new, right? So you have, is it like Christys? I think I saw a tag.
Exactly, it's still Christys. I still buy hats at Christys in London. So I make a list and they send me everything, and I think they make the most beautiful hats. And they are very nice, very friendly, and they deliver well. So it works. Apart from the Brexit, it works really well.
So what did you do before you ran Rudolf Beaufay?
I'm a doctor.
Wow.
Yeah, and I thought I need a hobby. So I was bored of the main job that I did, in a way.
It's hard work. I mean, I think doctors in Germany, they're not paid like doctors in the US.
No.
They're also not sued to the same degree, but it's a hard job.
It's a hard job, and Corona didn't make it better. And and I was bored. in a way. I needed something like a Ausgleich, I don't know.
Yeah, just to be balanced.
Exactly, and I thought, oh, maybe could work. I started the store working still in the hospital, but then I reached a point where I said, okay, this is a full-time job and I have to give up the
Whatever main job you have, otherwise you work too much.
Yeah, exactly.
So this used to be what you did to get like some balance in your life.
Yeah.
What do you do now to get balance in your life?
I love the store. The store is the balance of my life. I love it. When I enter the store, when I open every day, I'm so happy when I go into the store and I'm like, this is mine, and I love finding beautiful stuff and the story behind every single piece. So I have beautiful stories. I bought a few years ago almost the whole closet from a guy who was very famous in the red light district.
What was his name? Do you mind sharing?
I will not tell you, but
Okay.
he was quite famous.
Okay.
And he was the doorman of a very famous striptease club. And he died, and his nephew called me, and he was like, what do I do with everything that my uncle owes? Everything, the clothes is very English. Do you want to buy it? And I bought everything. And so this is every single piece has a story.
Well, I'm glad that you're able to make this store work and that you kind of carried on that torch.
Thank you.
Because it would have been a pity to lose a store of this caliber.
Yeah, it's a lovely store.
I think you also do a fantastic job with like Instagram. Was it something that you were comfortable with from the beginning, or did you have to learn that? Or
it's difficult because I didn't grow up with internet. So I will turn 49 this year, and for all the younger people, it's normal to be on social media. So, and it was hard for me because I was never that kind that wanted to be exposed. Is this how you say it?
well, I mean, you open up yourself,
Yeah.
right? Which means you open yourself up to criticism,
Exactly.
to people saying, "Hey, what is this?"
Exactly.
Or it's often unfair, or maybe they're having a bad day,
Yeah,
and it's like people say things they would never say in person.
Exactly.
But with that kind of, increased privacy, like people say things that are not always nice.
Yeah.
And it depends on your personality too, right?
Yeah.
If you're someone who takes things too hard because you put so much love and effort into it.
Yeah.
And maybe you're having a bad day, when it's coming to the store because it's raining, and you're like, oh, no one loves me
Exactly.
anymore because I can see that.
So it's hard work, but I increase the amount of followers, and I'm very happy about every single follower that follows me, and I love the positive comments under the whatever real stories, pictures, and I get used to it. So it was in the beginning a little hard, but I get used to it.
So what's next for you? What are you planning to do? Do you want to keep it as is, or?
I have an idea in my mind for a very long time to increase the store a little. So
In size?
In size, maybe. My dream would be that I would open a store somewhere else also, so maybe abroad. So as Rudolf Beaufay somewhere.
Okay, that's like a second branch, so to speak.
Yeah, because I have so many customers who come from all around the world. So it's not only Europe, it's from everywhere. And they always tell me, oh, if I would be so happy if I would have a store like that in my hometown.
So are there certain cities that you think like, I'd love to be there, or?
I would like New York.
New York.
I would like to meet Sean Crowley, for example.
Yes, he has a wonderful store. Very similar aesthetics, similar merchandise. I think you two hit it off.
I would like to. I think the store has a big potential, and I didn't do everything that is needed to push everything forward. So maybe in the future. So this is the plan for the future, at least.
And are you concerned about just, keeping to find these pieces that are hard to find because they're one of a kind, right? You can't produce more of them.
No.
They're just gonna, you have to kind of. Do you find it hard? Is it fun? Is it easy?
It's fun. It's easy. I mean, I had a couple yesterday. Sometimes I buy clothes from people who come into the store, and they have boxes bags full of clothes.
So what's your process then? They should reach out to you and just send you some pictures, and
No.
you're like, yes, that's good or not, or just come in, or how do you?
They come into the store.
Okay.
Without an appointment. I don't make an announcement anywhere, so they come into the store. And yesterday I had a couple who came in and they had a big bag full of beautiful ties. Very old Hermes ties and bow ties, and I was like freaking out because it was so beautiful, and with every single tie that I looked at, you saw the story behind. So they were chosen with love, and so this is something that I'm so excited when I find new beautiful things, and it's, yeah.
Well, it's cool, right? Because people come to you, they know you, and then you have this stuff that otherwise may up in a landfill because they just throw it out.
Exactly.
People don't appreciate it, they don't know what it is.
Exactly.
And it's just gone forever.
Exactly.
And I love looking through old tie designs, and you find things, and then looking through old books, and like recreating it is hard, you know, because sometimes the chemicals are no longer allowed. Which is great, you know, we don't want to hurt our planet, but sometimes the weave, you know, the knowledge of how to weave it is no longer there, right? So it's stuff like that. There's just a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, and it will. There are so many sources and so many beautiful things that I still find, and I hope that it will never stop. So.
Well, thank you for keeping this tradition alive. I'm just in Hamburg for a few days, but the first thing we're doing here today was coming to your store because I reached out and said, hey, can I come and take a look and see what you got?
Thank you so much for visiting the store.
Yes, and you should too. If you have stuff, reach out to Meisun. She's really responsive on Instagram, at Rudolf Beaufay.
Exactly.
And if you don't have anything to sell, just come here and buy something. If you're interested in classic men's clothing, I'd be shocked if you walk out of here without something. And now I'm going to walk around and look for stuff for myself.